Hello, a very good morning. Welcome along to Ireland AM on Virgin Media One.
We hope you find you well this Wednesday, the 17th of July. That's it. Here's what's coming up on today's show.
Now, last night, former Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, he officially announced, not like Murren did a few weeks ago, that he will not stand in the next general election, making the 14th Fine Gael TD to announce their departure. We're going to have the latest on that at 7:15.
Like I was clairvoyant a few weeks ago when I announced it. Now, new CSO figures have shown that more pensioners are rejoining the workforce than ever before in what experts are calling the Great Unretirement. Are you someone who's gone back into the workforce, and was it out of necessity, or was it because you wanted to go back into the workforce? 0896 111 111. We're discussing at 7:35. Why are you smiling
Not
so much?
looking at anyone in particular. The corner of my eye.
My mobility scooter's around the corner.
Coming up at 9:20, we're going to be chatting to the country singer Nathan Carter about why Honky Tonk is taking over the charts.
What else have we? Alan, who works here all the time.
All
we
the
love
time.
dearly,
Never retired. Yeah, 25 years of doing it. Now, coming up also on the show, we're looking at the rise of dental costs and why they're driving people to take up dodgy TikTok trends. You want to see some of these trends to care for their teeth. That's at 7:45. We're learning to create a one-bowl wonder with Susie Lee in the kitchen. She's making spicy noodle dish, and we're learning how to nail the European summer trend on the catwalk. Yes, it'll be fit for the Amalfi Coast. That's coming up later also. Now, it's far from the Amalfi Coast he is this morning. Where are you, Deric? And tell us what's happening.
Well, Al, following our trip to Cork yesterday, we've landed and worked our way up the west coast. We're here in County Clare, and it's a dry settled start down the Banner County. Elsewhere, we're seeing some good bright spells to start. Then, in fact, cloud cover building with some persistent rain on the cards later on today. So the message is to get the washing out of the line nice and early and enjoy the bit of morning brightest while we have it. Now, as part of our Up for the Match series, we've landed down here in the beautiful wee village of Feakle here in East County Clare. Three players from the village representing the county this weekend in the All-Ireland final, including Eivor, Adam and Con. So we're going to be catching up with some of the locals here a little bit later on this morning. We've got some music, we have got some dancing, and I believe there is a Cork woman living in the village here as well. So it's all fun and games here down in the Banner County a little bit later on this morning. It is, of course, the lowdown before the showdown.
Last night, more than 200 people gathered in Coolock, North Dublin. It was during a second night of protests.
Yes, we're going to be discussing that along with the other stories making this morning's newspapers after the short break.
Now, time to take a look at this morning's paper, starting with the Irish Independent. State should help developers to build more homes for rent. The state should incentivise developers to invest in building rental homes, a Department of Housing review has found. It reports a significant need to attract long-term investment in order to meet the government's Housing for All targets.
The Examiner leads with second night of unrest. Last night, more than 200 people gathered in Coolock, North Dublin during a second night of violence which saw smoke bombs let off and 6 Garda public order units drafted in to disperse the crowd.
Garda fury at Coolock chaos. A war of words over the unrest in Coolock has broken out between the Garda Commissioner and rank-and-file Gardaí, who fear lessons weren't learned from the Dublin riots. The GRA has criticised delays in deploying the public order unit during this week's protests. That's the top story on the Daily Mail.
The Herald leads with Dublin Force Show. The Garda Commissioner has told his members it's in an internal message that they have the complete and full support in responding to any future violence, similar to the chaos that broke out in Coolock on Monday.
The Sun says barrier grief. A giant concrete wall has been hastily erected around the disused site in Coolock, set to house asylum seekers. Taoiseach Simon Harris branded the actions of the mob from Monday's protests as, quote, sheer thuggery.
State locates 30 large buildings for asylum seekers. The government has identified what are expected to be large commercial or office units following an initial assessment to supply accommodation for asylum seekers. That's the front of the Irish Times.
The Mirror goes with far-right plot to kill Leo. It reports that an emergency security operation was mounted after a far-right plot to murder Leo Varadkar was uncovered in 2022. The former Taoiseach had his armed security detail reinstated after Garda intelligence learned a gang planned to use an ex-soldier to shoot him.
Yes, and similarly, the Start leads with far-right plot to murder Leo. Gardaí learned that a gang of extremists planned to use a former soldier from an elite foreign military outfit to shoot him dead. A source said the plot was real and was advanced. We should mention as well, the front of all the papers this morning is Ireland's women's win against France last night as well. 3-1, unbelievable. France's second best team in the world.
Yeah, also the first goal scored by Denise O'Sullivan, a Cork woman. What does that mean for the hurling? It's all omens, lads. It's all omens.
Denise de Resistance, it says there.
Denise de Resistance does it. Fantastic. Now, joining us with the news this morning, it is the political correspondent for the Irish Times, Jack Horgan-Jones. Good morning.
Hey, Jack. Morning.
Jack, can we... Those two front pages about Leo Varadkar and a murder plot.
Yeah.
What?
Pretty shocking stuff, really,
yes,
isn't it? Yeah. So this seems to have transpired rather in early 2022, and we didn't know about it until now. But the only day-to-day thing that seems to have changed for the then Taoiseach was a rapid increase in his security details. So when he was Taoiseach, you have an entire kind of team of Special Detective Unit Gardaí around you at all times, and senior ministers, including the Taoiseach, only have one. And in 2022, his security detail was kind of rapidly at a kind of drop of a hat reinstated almost overnight. And the reason for that seems to have been that the Gardaí, according to these stories in the Mirror, and I think it's the Sun as well, the Gardaí discovered what they believed was a credible plot to kill the Taoiseach. Remarkable details where, you know, the involvement of an ex-service person who was not in the Irish Defence Forces, but in
the former foreign military fighter had been engaged.
Yes, apparently in an elite kind of services unit within the armed forces of another state. We don't know who, but apparently the plot was at a relatively advanced stage. The cops took it seriously. They were looking to procure firearms. So this seems to be a very real kind of example of the step change that we've seen in the safety of politicians in the state. I mean, we come from a history within the state where there has been a subversive threat towards politicians. Everyone knows the stories of Des O'Malley being issued with a gun as Minister for Justice. But I think that many people would have thought that those days were long gone and behind us and past tense. But this story obviously shows that, given the kind of the coarsening of politics that exists and the fact that, you know, people seem to believe that, like, any and all avenues and options to hold politicians to account for what they perceive to be their crimes or treachery are legitimate. And that, you know, even though that's not a widely held viewpoint, it's clear that the public discourse has kind of, you know, hollowed out to a point where some small group of people may believe that this kind of action is legitimate and appropriate. So it's shocking. It's shocking on the day that we find out he's not going to run again. You know?
Frightening.
And not surprising.
Really not surprising. Exactly. I mean, 2 years ago, but having that security detail, and you can see why. Even listen. You know that you're being protected, but it must always be playing in the back of your mind. So he has finally listened. He's come out and he said that he's generally going to explore new options and new opportunities. Muireann discussed it. You disclosed it a few weeks ago, saying that.
I was sure that he stepped down that he said, I'm not going to run weeks ago. I just thought it was fairly obvious. And it was Hugh O'Connell going, no, Muireann, no, that hasn't happened.
So he is not going to contest the next general election. Now, it looks like, so there's 13 or 14 Fine Gael politicians now stepping down. Like, that's a big overhaul. And is that a reason maybe potentially Simon Harris wants to go the full term, to give these new people and new faces an opportunity to kind of embed in the community?
Potentially, but also they being Fine Gael, have said that they want all their selection conventions where they choose their candidates for the next general election. They want them done by the end of September, so they have the option to go in either way. And they'll be looking at people who did well in the local elections in particular to put their hand up and say, yeah, no, select me. So that's a process that's going to be going on over the summer, with particular attention on those 13 or 14 constituencies, as you say. You know, who's going to be put in, who has a decent chance of defending that seat, because obviously in Irish politics, as in politics around the world, incumbency, name recognition, these things really matter for voters and really help you get re-elected. So,
and big hitters with Coveney gone and now Leo as well.
Huge. Can I just ask quickly, with Leo Varadkar stepping away, does he continue to have that security?
There is security provided for former Taoiseach. I don't think it's at the level that a serving Taoiseach would have, but certainly there's security provided for former Taoiseach.
This is all, it was a far-right plot that they've uncovered, and of course there has been more unrest in Coolock, not to the extent that we saw on Monday night, but last night indeed there was unrest again. Locals in the community talking about what was going on there, and the guards are not happy.
Yeah, so there was an incursion apparently about 7:30 onto the Malahide Road, just at the Crown Paints factory in Coolock there, and the public order unit were deployed to kind of push people back. There were minor scuffles, nothing, as you say, of the scale of Monday evening, but I suppose it goes to show that the kind of the rolling nature of the challenge that confronts the state and the security forces in particular, because there are potential flashpoints all over the place. As we report in the Irish Times this morning, the government has identified another 30 kind of large commercial projects that could be converted into housing. So this threat of violence ultimately, but also of large-scale protest, is something that will be popping up all up and down the country until and as when they move to this kind of longer-term strategy, which is focused on a number of
reception centres,
larger but a smaller number of reception centres, if we ever get to that.
Well, 5, and I don't think that's like, it's not the golden bullet to sort it all out. No. It's not something that is going to solve this problem. Denying that more people are going to come to this country is bonkers. There's wars, there's famine, there's climate change. It's going to keep on happening. We have to be realistic about that, keep people safe. But will the reception centres ease things? Like, is it going to help?
I don't think it could be necessarily much worse than the current situation where you have this kind of hand-to-mouth emergency response. But I think you're right that the reality of the situation is that while last year was the biggest year we'd had in many a year for immigration numbers and people seeking asylum, it was only bringing us towards the European average. So we have not been representative of the European experience of immigration and asylum seeking for quite some time. So the reality of migration politics and the impact it has on our politics is something that I think the system writ large has to wrap its
And it's a global trend. We're talking about almost in 30 years, a 50% increase in refugees globally.
Ireland, as they weren't keeping up with the numbers that we're seeing in other countries, also it wasn't as if they'd planned for it, which is quite alarming. The fact that they didn't have the reception numbers, they didn't have the vetting process at the level that it should be, and looks like those things are starting to be fixed now.
Well, you register when you come in. Anyway, the guards, what's going on with the guard, the commissioner?
So the rank and file Gardaí have effectively called foul on management for not deploying the public order unit on Monday night quickly enough. They're saying they want an urgent meeting with Garda Commissioner Drew Harris about this. Harris seems to have pushed back. Similarly, the government is pushing back on suggestions that they haven't got their communications right on this piece, which is one of the kind of evergreen criticisms of the state. They say they're not consulting enough. Now, talking to people in government last night, indeed the Taoiseach yesterday morning was making the point that, look, if someone's going to throw a brick at a Garda car, there's no amount of consultation that's going to necessarily prevent someone from doing that. And I think that's a fair point in some ways, but in other ways, the government has been trailing this kind of communications master plan that they've been working on for more than a year to try and kind of educate people about the nature of migration and what happens when people come into the country and what the asylum process entails. That still hasn't been published. So while, yes, it doesn't solve all ills to have a better communications plan, it doesn't mean you shouldn't have the better communications plan you've been talking about for more than a year.
Exactly, and that's what we had a councillor from the local area, North Dublin, on yesterday saying that exact same thing. And even Drew Harrison as well, talking about the guards as well. Regrettably, we are going to face similar situations again in this, and given the guards his full support, which is good to hear. Now, let's move on to a completely different story. Coffee snobbery. You into your coffee? Would you go for a vanilla latte? Are you a oat milk chai? Would you have
I'm a classic millennial flat white drinker.
Flat white, okay. So this is a new study undertaken by Oreo.
Yes, yeah. What are the headline figures here?
Yeah.
So 2,000 caffeine addicts apparently say that, so 39% of them saying that they would only drink coffee at the right temperature, 33% the right milk, and even the mug it's served in, 31% saying that.
Oh,
do you know what I hate, right?
I drink it from an ale boot the first thing in the morning, to be honest.
Do you know what I don't like, though? When you get a flat white or a latte in the glass ones where you have to put your finger in it.
It's very Celtic Tiger, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it like it's too hot and it burns your finger.
Yeah.
Do you know those ones, the big long gold glass
they're
ones?
awful.
And they still, when you go to certain places and you ask for a latte, it comes out in this and you're trying to sip it.
I don't know what you think about this. We can't really comment on this because someone said to me recently, God, people who have their own cups at work, what a bunch of babies. They'd want to cop on.
No, got a tea.
We're very proud of our own. Do you have your own cup at work?
That's because it gets covered in lipstick the whole time.
No.
You don't have your own cup at work?
I don't have my own cup at work,
0896 111 Can anyone help me out here? Someone was like, they're such babies, and we love having our own cup.
Well, it's more, honestly, we used to have to share the cups, and it was covered in lipstick all the way around because of Alan Hughes. I'll tell you what.
Is it pathetic having your own cup at work?
111. Let us know with the old latte cups. Jack Horgan-Jones from the Irish Times. Thank you.
Casual Jack. See the way the doll is on holidays and he's Casual Jack? Love it. Love it. Now, still to come, experts are warning the cost of living crisis is forcing retirees there back into the workforce.
Yeah, we're going to listen to that after the break. Good morning. It is great to have you with us. Now, new CSO figures have revealed that people over the age of 65 are coming out of retirement at the fastest rate ever.
Joining us to discuss is Peter Cosgrove, Managing Director of FutureWise, and Nat O'Connor, Public Affairs and Policy Specialist at Age Action Ireland. Good morning to you both. Thank you so much for joining us. Peter, let's talk about these CSO figures about people coming out of retirement at a fastest rate. Why?
Well, firstly, it's those over 65 they're talking about, and they're coming out for a few reasons. One is economic. The pensions probably aren't going to cover how long they're going to live, or that's what they think. Secondly is probably the social side. Maybe after COVID, people realised, you know what, I'm going to be living a long time, maybe another 30 years. Do I really want to just retire forever? And then the big one is, for me as well, is there's this lack of connectivity people are having, because a lot of people walk around the whole time staring at phones on their phones, so they're not actually getting to socialise with other people. And one of the best places is the workforce, where you're with lots of different generations.
Yeah, Nat, do you think it's a good thing for people to be going back into the workforce?
It's certainly good if it's someone's choice, and people should always have that choice to go back if they want to, because it opens up lots of opportunities. People like having the extra income coming in, but likewise, as Peter said, the chance to just meet people, interact, be fully socially included. So that, as long as it's a choice, that's a good thing.
And you do work with older people a lot of the time, Nat. What are you hearing from people?
Well, I mean, there's certainly a concern that a lot of people face mandatory retirement at the age of 65. They're forced to give up work. And it's, that's been abolished in Australia, Canada, New Zealand decades ago. It should be abolished here. But when people find that they are forced to give up work and they're not ready, they want to keep going, they want a bit of income coming in, many people are still paying off the mortgage, so they're looking for another work. So they're kind of re-entering the workforce, having been forced to give up the job that they were doing.
Do you think that, yes, mandatory retirement at 65, or even pension age at 65, is it too low? I mean, whenever the average age that people will die at in Ireland is now 80 to 82, it's a lot of living after retirement. And do you think it should be upped a little bit?
Yeah, I think the challenge...
To follow the trends?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is we're in a full employment economy now, so anyone who wants a job can get a job. I think if we had quite high unemployment, people would have a very different view of, hang on, people are staying in jobs longer and I can't get a job. So I think it very much depends on, we're very lucky in Ireland at the moment, the economic situation is very good. But if it wasn't as good, people might think like, hang on, you've had 50 years to get your chance.
But it is.
But it is at the moment. So at the moment, honestly, if you want a job right now, you will probably get a job. And that's also why people are going in, because it's an easier time to get a job.
Yeah, Nat?
Well, I wouldn't agree. I mean, from Age Action's perspective, the state pension should be there at 66, which it is at the moment, because not everybody can keep working. If you've done hard work, manual work, some people started working in their teens, they've done their 50 years, they've paid their stamps, they're entitled to their pension then. And certainly...
So have a choice.
It's all about choice. It's all about all of us want to have that choice, control of our own lives and decide. A lot of people want to go part-time as well in their 60s and 70s, do a bit of work, keep their hand in,
That's interesting. Flexible workforce. We talk about it working from home for people who are, you know, parents and all that kind of stuff now. When it comes to older people, obviously, you know, it would be amazing to be able to do 3 days a week or something like that.
Absolutely, and there's new flexibility needed, because if you're a younger person, you might be bringing up kids, but if you're in your 50s and 60s, you could be looking after your own parents who are getting older. Or you might have illness that you're dealing with. You need flexibility around new issues. And not all employers have thought about that, but we need to bring that in.
So for our people, like, do you think cost of living, the cost of everything nowadays is putting huge pressure on people who are thinking about retirement at 65, 66?
I mean, the state pension definitely hasn't kept in line with inflation, so that's one thing. So you can definitely see that. If you just look at anecdotally, people are saying things are much more expensive, and you know, people are worried. I mean, one of the biggest challenges you have as you get older, if you don't know how long you're going to live, you don't know how much money you're going to have. So it does cause extra stresses, which is where people coming back, even at a part-time and doing something, which both gives them that sense of kind of getting up every day and doing something, but also bringing in a little bit of money will certainly give them a better feeling.
And it is that, you know, seeing people going around the shops with the calculator, because you're like, what can I do this week? 0896 111 111. We'd love to hear from you about this retirement, whether you have come out of retirement yourself from economic necessity or because you want to, because we're talking about social cohesion as well. Like you mentioned there, Peter, about this lack of connectivity. And, you know, sometimes when you're gone from the workforce, it can be, you know, social inclusion for an awful lot of people.
Well, much more than ever before. I think there was a study yesterday saying 1 in 10 people don't even have one friend. I mean, and one of the challenges we have now, we've got more and more people who are talking about this kind of loneliness economy, that people now walk out of the house with headphones. They don't even chat to their bus driver. They don't chat to the barista. All those tiny micro conversations. Older people used to say it was great getting on a train. They'd be chatting to all the people. Now there's this kind of almost somebody's very, you know, the joke was always, if you want to keep the seat beside you free in the train, you just tap it and smile at somebody and no one will ever sit beside you. You know, because it's this negative politeness culture that we now have, that people don't expect you to talk to them on the street. But that's really tough, because if you're in the workforce the whole time, you're used to chatting to people. If you're at home and you're only coming out once a day and you're not connecting with people, you really need that.
Is there a bit of a discrimination for people who are a little bit older going into the workforce? And are there certain jobs that would suit people that are kind of that age bracket?
Well, certainly there's discrimination, and we know that for people who are, say, unemployed in their 50s, early 60s, or trying to get back in, they could just be very hard to get the interview, to convince an employer, no, actually, I'm serious, I want to come in, I want to do 5, 10 years work. Employers might look for younger workers because they think they get more out of them, which can be a mistake by employers, because the younger worker is just as likely to move on to some other job. Of course. Whereas older workers bring skills that are not always appreciated. They've got a desire to work, they've got experience, good interpersonal skills, dealing with the ups and downs. So there's a lot of advantages in older workers.
0896 111 111. We would love to hear from you. Peter Cosgrove, Managing Director of FutureWise, and Nat O'Connor, Senior Public Affairs and Policy Specialist at Age Action Ireland. Thank you both so much for being with us this morning. Interpersonal skills.
Yeah,
with
it's interesting. Yeah, super. Alan.
Don't.
Thanks, Tommy. Now, after the break, we're going to be learning about the perils of turning to TikTok to care for your pearly whites, including this, turning rubber bands or using rubber bands instead of braces. Yeah, I did say that. We're going to see here after this break. Now, from at-home fillings to at-home tooth fillings, people have been using social media to showcase their DIY dentistry skills.
DIY dentistry. Like, this isn't just, you know, painting a wall and putting it up on Insta. Here with his expert opinion on these toothy trends is dentist Dr. Ambrish Roshan. Hello, Ambrish. It's lovely to have you here. Now, this is actually new to you. You haven't seen anything like this in Ireland.
No.
No,
thankfully. And do you know what? It's actually insane. Like, I only came across this whenever you guys wanted to do a segment, and I looked into it a lot more. And thankfully, a lot of these are across the borders in America. But having said that, the fact that there is exposure and people are aware, and TikTok is worldwide, right? We're all on TikTok, on some form of social media. But the fact that the younger generation is being impressionable, like they are so impressionable, they watch these things, they think that, I might give this a go. The problem is dental tissue, so teeth, gums, once they're gone and once they're damaged, they're damaged. So if you think you want to try something, try it on something like a piece of plastic at home. Don't do it directly.
Okay, well, let's look at some of them. The first one is using rubber bands on your teeth. Now, this is here we have some examples on what this is. Why would you use rubber bands? What's this for?
So in theory, I think what this guy was trying to do was close a space between his teeth. And the theory of it is
they're putting
these rubber bands sequentially on their teeth to try and bring and close these spaces.
So they're saying, I've used a rubber band and look, my teeth are much closer. They've moved in.
Yeah, and in theory,
realistically, can that work?
It can, and that, I mean, I'm not saying to do it, but in theory, yes, your rubber band is going to put a force on your teeth and that's going to close it together. But the problem is, how do we know that that force is in the direction that we want it to?
Yeah.
That rubber band could very easily bring the teeth together and flick them out or flick them in. And if that happens, then you're probably in a way worse off situation.
Yes.
The other issue is, yes, you're closing these spaces and the rubber bands are going to close
Mirren's actually holding your teeth.
So when you put force and when you put pressure in your teeth, you're going to do two things. One is you're going to move the teeth, but you're also going to move the teeth in the bone. That bone, if the teeth aren't moving in the right direction, that bone is going to recede and shrink back, or you're going to damage the root of the tooth. The other issue is, yes, for all well and good that you're closing these spaces, how are you going to keep them closed? There is retainers that are there for a reason. So there's a lot of things that, in the short term, it might look like it's doing good, but we don't know what's happening, underneath the gums. Long term.
Like, I can understand that, but filing your own teeth, like that to me, like, oh God, can't even think of that.
No.
I mean, for people who are filing their own teeth, that's a big no.
I'm going to continue the rest of the segment holding my lips. Like, I can't. I just, honestly.
Can we show this? I think we've got a video of it.
A tooth has nerves in them.
Look.
Every tooth.
Every single person in the studio, their shoulders all just went up to their ears.
My hairs
Why
are
is this happening? What are they doing? Why?
So this is the opposite effect of what
they want.
So these guys are trying to open a space between the teeth.
Yeah.
And again, there are ways to do that safely, not with a device that you get from a nail salon that's basically filing and cutting right through the middle of your teeth. Like, every tooth has a nerve in it. We all know that. The closer you get to the nerve, the more sensitive your teeth are going to be. Also, these devices, they are rough and ready. They're not going to smoothen your teeth. When tooth is rough, it's going to create more surface roughness. It's going to pick up more staining. It's going to cause more cavities. It's just a whole myriad of problems that are going to come on.
Anyone who's had a root canal, you know the nerves in your teeth.
Yeah.
It's so great. Listen, one of the main factors, I'm assuming, driving this is cost of dentistry. I know we're talking about America, where it is an awful lot more expensive than here, but dentistry is expensive.
Yeah.
And that's what's making people look at TikTok and do these sorts of things, I'm assuming.
I don't know if cost is the factor driving, these things.
Do you think it's just trends, fads?
I think trends could be one of them. Ease of access to all these things. Like, you can get all these temporary filling material stuff on Amazon. You can get rubber bands on Amazon. You can get all these nail file stuff on Amazon. So ease of access, they feel. And also, you need to remember there's a lot of anxiety around dentistry. Dentistry in itself is quite, like, for patients who haven't been to a dentist for a while, it can be quite daunting.
Who could be afraid of him? I mean, come
on. No, but that's the reality. I see a lot of nervous patients. And I think, cost aside, yes, cost definitely has a factor to play. And access to dentistry can be a lot harder than access to some of these, rubber bands, files, whatever, online. But it's finding someone who's going to be able to listen to you and find out what exactly that you want to change. And being in an environment.
People are doing their own DIY fillings. What are they using then?
So I had to look this up because I had no idea. There are these thermoplastic beads that you put in hot water. I think there was a clip of it as well. It basically just forms a gel and it sets on the teeth. But again, the issue is, this is the clip of it here. But the issue with this is, yes, you are, and these guys are replacing a whole tooth with some of these plastic things.
Oh.
And again, it works all well and good. And it also, they're trying to crack a nut, which I would never recommend cracking a nut with your own teeth, by the way. There are nut crackers for a reason, right? The same way as there are dentists for a reason, and the same way as, there's just... I think
we are talking about costs, but
mental.
I mean, there are reports that there's a number of dentists. Like, it's very hard to get a dentist here.
Appointments, not taking medical cards.
Yeah, and some dentists are not accepting medical cards.
Yeah.
Is this the truth?
It is the truth, and I think, again, I don't take medical card patients for the simple reason that I'm very busy with private patients who want to see me for cosmetic treatment.
Right.
Again, a general dentist who does family dentistry, a lot of them are still on the medical card scheme, and reports have shown, and I've been out of the contract for quite a few years, but reports have shown that the medical card scheme is probably not as fit for purpose it is today than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that.
And there's not been very much change in terms of, what the government pays these dentists from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And also the technology, or rather the modern dentistry that uses adhesive, so white fillings, were only up to about a year and a half ago, the medical card scheme started covering those on back.
There has been a huge, and a lot of dentists are talking about the cost that it takes to do this doesn't cover what it is. But people are leaving dentistry. There's been a 23% fall in dentists in Ireland between 2005 and 2022. Yeah. A lot are going into Botox because they've got the skills, they're really small. It's worrying. Dentists are going out of the market.
So, and again, that's back to supply and demand.
Okay.
So it's the demand is still as high as it ever was, possibly even higher, but the supply is a lot lower because dentists are branching out, and also the number of dentists in the country are reducing. People are going abroad to Australia, working in Australia after graduation. Again, it's just
like the thing like doctors and nurses in this country as well.
Yeah.
But your advice is DIY dentistry.
Do not do it.
Do not do it.
Do not do it yourself.
Dr. Ambush, I love that you went like that with us as well. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. We really appreciate it. And the main takeaway, of course, is do not try these DIY trends at home, and always refer to a dental practitioner to care for your teeth.
Yes, lots more still to come in the next hour of Ireland AM. We'll see you in a few minutes.
It's time now to take a look at this morning's papers. We'll start with the Irish Independent. It says states should help developers to build more homes for rent. A Department of Housing review has advised the state should incentivise developers to invest in building rental homes. It reports a significant need to attract long-term investment in order to meet the government's Housing for All targets.
The Examiner leads with second night of unrest. Last night, more than 200 people gathered in Coolock, North Dublin, during a second night of violence which saw smoke bombs let off and 6 Garda public order units drafted in to disperse the crowd.
Garda fury at Coolock. Chaos, a war of words over the unrest in Coolock, has broken out between the Garda Commissioner and rank-and-file Gardaí, who fear lessons weren't learned from the Dublin riots. The GRA has criticised delays in deploying the public order unit during this week's protests. That's the top story on the Daily Mail.
The Herald leads with Dublin Force Show. The Garda Commissioner has told his members in an internal message that they have his complete and full support in responding to any future violence, similar to the chaos that broke out in Coolock on Monday.
The Sun says barrier grief. A giant concrete wall has been hastily erected around the disused site in Coolock, set to house asylum seekers. Taoiseach Simon Harris branded the actions of the mob from Monday's protests as sheer thuggery.
State locates 30 large buildings for asylum seekers. The government has identified what are expected to be large commercial or office units following an initial assessment to supply accommodation for asylum seekers. That's from the Irish Times.
The Mirror says far-right plot to kill Leo. It reports that an emergency security operation was mounted after a far-right plot to murder Leo Varadkar was uncovered in 2022. The former Taoiseach had his armed security detail reinstated after Garda intelligence learned a gang planned to use an ex-soldier not from Ireland to shoot him.
Yes, and similarly the Star leads with far-right plot to murder Leo. Gardaí learned that a gang of extremists planned to use a former soldier from an elite foreign military outfit to shoot him dead. A source said the plot was real and it was advanced.
Absolutely terrifying.
Frightening. Yeah, we discussed it earlier.
Yeah, from Leo Varadkar.
And of course, the front of all the papers as well is Ireland women beating France 3-1 yesterday as well.
Well done. Absolutely brilliant.
And great crowd down in Cork as well.
15,000 tickets sold. It was amazing, isn't it? Like you'd imagine years ago. Wouldn't mean anything like that. No chance. It's absolutely amazing. Lots of texts coming in this morning. We were chatting about that we were calling it the Great Unretirement Revolution, where people who had retired are coming out of retirement to start some work again. Yeah. And Katie says, I'm working since I've been 15. I'm tired and I'm due to retire in 3 years at 66. And to be honest, I can't wait. but due to finance, I have to continue.
Well, that's it, because that's what we were discussing. Some people are feeling that they have to because of the cost of living, and some are kind of thinking, well, I'm bored and I want to go back.
Well, Katie would love to, because she's been working since she's 15, but just can't afford to.
Marie, I'm 70 today. Happy birthday, Marie. You're married. Happy birthday to you.
Class.
And I have not retired yet. I'm working part-time now. I love it. I have great friends and I love my job as a medical secretary. And we were chatting about this in relation to being able to do part-time work. To be flexible, because obviously there's, you might be tired.
I see a lot of part-time workers of a certain age working in supermarkets, at tills and different things like that. And they're great, they love it.
What about this one? Catherine, people are staying on at work for the social aspect of it. While their experience is of value, I found it reduces productivity. They know that they can retire any day, so the pressure to maintain standards of practice is not at the same level as for people who are not near retirement.
Catherine,
fair enough. It's probably fair enough. Yeah.
Well,
I say, well, I don't have to be here. I could leave now.
But then we spend the whole time going, sure, Gen Z don't know how to work at all. There's no bit of work in them at all. Do you know? It's like you can't win.
And here's Bridget. She says, I've worked since I was 13 and started saving for my pension when I was 21. Good on you, Bridget. I don't want a raise in mandatory retirement age. It should be optional, because I think Bridget wants to get out, take her pension and have do what she wants. Yeah.
Well done, Bridget.
She was 21.
Well done.
Well done.
I'm jealous.
Done, Bridget.
Honestly, I'm just like, I wish I'd known that. 0896 111 111 to get in contact.
Send us in more. Have you gone back to work? Would you like to go back to work? And is it because of cost of living or what else? Now, coming up next, you beat Ellen DeGeneres and
Ellen DeGeneres.
And Amy Schumer. To be crowned one of showbiz's top comedians.
Yeah. Comedian Rachel Parris is checking in after the break. We'll see you after this.
Welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, our next guest is a BAFTA-nominated comedian whose witty jingles and political satire have made her a viral success.
There you have it. So before we get chatting to Rachel Parris, good morning to you, Rachel, let's take a look at her take on the UK government's advice on how to tackle misogyny.
Wink at a train. I'll try it now. Good morning, Rachel Parris.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
It's lovely to have you here. We just saw there the MASH report, which, it goes viral every few months, something that you have said, some little piece that has been done on the MASH report. Were you shocked at kind of the legs that it had?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when the series started in 2017, obviously it was a brand new programme, and all of us, including Nish Kumar, the host, really were pretty much unknowns. And I mean, some of us have faded back into relative obscurity. But for a few years there, yeah, it had a huge amount of attention for a brand new comedy show. So it was a real surprise.
I mean, you've done an awful lot of comedy around the political satire. And I suppose that you would probably say the UK government and some of the politicians that have been there, it's been quite easy to find some ammo, people to aim at.
Yeah, that is fair. I would say we've had people who are just like comic book caricatures in government, from Liz Truss, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Suella Braverman. Like, they've been like textbook villains, really. So, yeah, it's been quite easy to write jokes about them. But the problem is that the truth itself is sometimes funnier than you can write.
See, I suppose this is the thing. You're taking pot shots. And, the world is a very sensitive place now. And sometimes people will get offended by things. But there are big issues that comedians talk about. You certainly do that. Do you find that you do have the power to change people's minds, opinions and educate?
I would like to think that. That's certainly the goal in a lot of the things that I did on the MASH report, especially.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's more reassuring for people who do think the same as you than it is definitely changing people's minds. I hope it changes minds, but I think more of the time it's just for people to go, oh, thank God, someone else sort of thinks that as well, that I'm not going insane.
Yeah.
And you know what? And sometimes where you just get so fed up with politics and everything that's going on at the minute, it's nice to just make a bit of a joke out of it nowadays as well, which is good. Listen, I know a big part of your comedy as well, like you're pretty damn impressive on the piano, you're a good singer as well. We actually have a little clip of you. Maybe not so good in the gym. Let's take a look at one of your little skits on that.
I went to the gym. 7 minutes on the treadmill. I went to the gym. Walking on the treadmill, and I hope none of you forget. Don't you forget that I went to the gym. I was there for half an hour, including the shower. And I must be fit because I didn't break a sweat. Didn't break a sweat.
So if you spend longer in the shower, we know what that's like. Are you one of these like always in the Pilates or at home in having a pack of biscuits type girl?
I'm more of the biscuits, I'm afraid, these days. I do the odd bit of yoga every few weeks, but I'm a bit more of a Jaffa cake on the sofa, I'm afraid.
Well, how do you kind of sit there and go, right, this is something that I can turn into comedy? Because we all know that girl. We've all been that girl you buy the thing and you're like, you've gone, and that was worth the €300 that you spent on the gym membership. And we all talk about it, we all do it with our friends, but actually there's comedy in this. It's spotting the stuff.
It depends. Sometimes there's like, with the political stuff, I do just sit down and try and write just by rote. I'm just like, I've got to write about this subject, definitely. And I just sit there until I've thought of things. But more of the time, particularly with the musical comedy songs that I do, it's that things come up in life, like me knowing someone or being the girl who is constantly telling you that they're going to the gym all the time. And it just occurs to you that, like, I think that's funny. I think I could make that funny. Yeah. And then the question is, how do I do? I know it's funny, but how exactly do I make it funny?
Yeah. The girl that drinks water as well. She's a big girl, isn't she? She's important girl.
It's probably the same person, isn't it?
Same person. That's me.
Where's that water bottle somewhere? Warren comes in with this monster water bottle. We all know what you're talking about.
I drink water.
Richard Gadd, Baby Reindeer, obviously has been massive for the last while, and the comedian Richard Gadd, who obviously played in that. You've experienced him in real life and some of the kind of awkward social encounters he's had.
Yes, I have. I love the phrase "experienced him," as if he's an experience. Yeah, I know Richard. A lot of us on the comedy circuit do. The circuit is so small and intimate, really, that you're bound to meet people between gigging all over Ireland and the United Kingdom, but also at the Edinburgh Fringe. If you're like the same kind of comedy generation, which we are, then you're going to see each other. And I know him through gigging, but also I saw his shows at the Soho Theatre before this, and in Edinburgh. And I just think he was fantastic then. And I thought Baby Reindeer was an incredible show.
Watching the shows, though, you're sitting there, he's your colleague, essentially. Your work colleagues. But, the comedy can be like you're sitting there going, oh, my God, what's happening? Were you sitting in the audience going, oh, Richard, what are you doing there? Sometimes with some of it.
What, when watching him live?
When watching him live.
No, because I wasn't. Because, to be honest, we've all been there. Like, I do think his comedy live, the bits that like we saw his early career, was a bit deliberately awkward. Yes. Sometimes that was part of the character. But also, even when you see your colleagues having a difficult gig, we've all been there. It's so relatable. I've seen like the most famous, celebrated comics, from Phil Bailey to Michael McIntyre, Darrow Britt, like having really, really tough gigs. Everyone has them. And those gigs that are like in a pub without a stage or a proper mic and all the people hate you and wish you weren't there. We've all had those things.
Oh, I know. Honestly, that's where you build your resilience,
yes.
I tell you. That's where I'm sure you have to find some of your comedy gold as well. Listen, you are getting back out on the road again. Your new show, Poise, what's it all about?
Well, it's a mixture. It's really about reacting to the world I'm in this year. And for me personally, of course, it's turning 40 and not just the birthday, but where I am in my life now. It's a bit of my life that I haven't really done jokes about before, because I sort of suddenly went from being a single, very student lifestyle party girl to being quite a responsible mother of a little kid, a stepmother to 2 Generation Z kids, and, married, and that's my Billy. That's my Billy. So, yeah, kind of finding myself, and also politically, like not quite at the cutting edge of politics where I used to be, trying to keep up with Gen Z and everything that they're doing, and finding myself left behind. So, yeah, it's about that.
It's about that, and also being a homeowner and Gen Z going, how dare you have a house?
I know, the absolute guilt.
Terrible, how dare you? It's an awful thing. Well, you're going to be touring all over the place, a massive tour, and you're going to be in Ireland, in Cork, Dublin and Belfast on the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th of October. The show is called Poise. Rachel Parris, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a million. Cheers.
Well.
Thank
and
you so much.
Mark Bridgestock, of course, you're married to as well. Good
indeed.
podcast with the two of them as well. Very, very funny.
Now, up next, Deric is seeing if Banner County has what it takes to get the Liam McCarthy home to Clare.
We're going to hear from Deric after the break. Hello, you're very welcome back. We're outside. It's lovely out here today as well. And we didn't even bring our cups with us because we have a load of texts coming through about this survey about how picky people are with their cups. And we have our own cups, which we don't have with us.
Yeah, we should have planned this a bit better.
M-A-T.
Yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
ATM, whatever you want to do.
Anyway, Mary says, I bring my own cup and milk to work. It's all men who use the kitchen except for me. They kept taking my milk. So I put a label on it saying breast milk. And guess what? They still took it.
Would you risk it for a biscuit?
Someone desperate for a drop of milk.
You take your own mug into...
Like at rehearsals and stuff like that for Panto, I bring my own... It's like a security thing. Just have your own mug, and and then I keep it throughout the run.
July, and he got the mention for Panto.
Everyone gets their favourite mug in. Thank you. We've got lots more texts as well about retirement and everything else too. Now, this weekend, Clare are going to take on Cork, in case you didn't know, in the All-Ireland hurling final.
Yes, we heard the roar of the rebels yesterday, Mirren still in our red. But it's time to see if the Banner County can match their buzz.
This was accidentally done. I don't think about what I wear in the morning that much. Let's see how things are hyping up in fecal GAA this morning. Deric.
Shayna, our dancer, Edel on concertina, and Orla on the keyboard. Give it up for all our wonderful musicians here. Welcome down to wonderful fecal in County Clare. It is the build-up to All-Ireland Final Sunday. Half the county, as you can see, come on guys, are here this morning. What a crew we have. What representation from the Banner County. We're going to say hello to some of the very proud mums and dads here this morning. And we're going to kick off with Monica Smith. Good morning to you, Monica.
Good morning.
Monica, you are Keith's mum. What's the atmosphere been like in the house at home?
Exciting, very exciting. It's absolutely amazing to be, at this stage of the championship in the All-Ireland final. First time ever. It's a great honour for Keith to represent his club, Killanena. He's absolutely over the moon, as we all are. I'm very, very proud of him. And we just hope that he stays focused and ready enough for the challenge.
Monica, Keith is corner forward, so there's a lot of pressure on him this weekend, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you just have to be, focused, ready, up for it. First touch is very important, and just give it everything.
I mean, what does it mean for the village here? Because it's a small village, but it's as I mentioned earlier on, it's a small village with a very big heart.
Absolutely, a very, very small village. We're Killanena, and we're an intermediate club. for the underage, Keith, and had the pleasure of playing with Adam since they've been 5 years of age, and absolutely delighted to be alongside him now at this big occasion.
And I mean, all the lads have grown up together playing hurling here in the club.
Absolutely, it's just amazing. I mean, it's the heart of the community. It's what keeps us ticking.
Monica, the most important question: have you got a ticket?
Yes, I'm.
She has a ticket. We've one down, 6 more to go. Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be seated on Sunday?
In the Hogan stand.
In the Hogan stand. What a great view! Look forward to the game. All right, give it up for Monica Smith. That's Keith's mum. Now, next up, we're moving to Jim and Noreen Quilligan. Good morning to you both. And you are Eva's mum and dad. I mean, another proud day for the family, right?
Yeah, oh, brilliant. Absolutely can't wait. You know, it's been a long year. They've put in a great shift. We've managed to get there eventually. So, really looking forward to the match on Sunday.
Jim, it's been a long time since Clare scooped in All-Ireland, 2013, so we have to go back a little bit. But, I mean, Clare have done so well in the championship this year, and they really are coming into this as the underdogs, right?
They are, of course, yeah, but look, you have to have a bit of hope as well and a bit of belief in yourself. Like, you know, naturally, you know, people are saying, well, look at 2013 since we've won in All-Ireland, but look, we're there and we're going to enjoy every bit of it, and we'll give it our best shot. I
mean, Noreen, I was coming through the county last night and into this morning, right through Scariff and into Killaloe. There's a lovely, quiet confidence here in the county, right?
There is, absolutely, yeah. As you can see by the village, the way it's decorated, huge effort put in by the whole community. Fantastic. And, you know, Killanena are up the road, and we have Keith, you know, they would have played underage with Ava, Con and Adam, you know, so it's great. It's, you know, it's really a great buzz around East Clare, and Scariff is down the road as well, and Tulla over the road, you know, so we have representatives from all the clubs around locally. It's great buzz around East Clare.
Jim, Eva is goalie, so a lot of pressure on him as well now this Sunday.
Of course there is, naturally there is pressure on him, but look, you know, he's there to do a job, and hopefully he'll do it, and, you know, after that then hopefully everything will go all right for him on the day.
There's only one person he went to when the final whistle blew, Noreen. Who was that? Did he go back to Mammy? It has to be done.
Yeah, that was a lovely moment captured, I suppose. You know, obviously we were so happy for him, you know, and obviously as his mother, I was so proud of him.
Is he a Mammy's boy?
Oh, he is.
Yeah. All right, give it up there for Jim and Noreen Quilligan. Now, next up, we are moving on to Micheál and Ruth Hogan. Good morning to the Hogans.
Good morning.
First up, we get the big question out of the way. Have you got a ticket?
Yes, indeed, we have it.
We have. Where are you seated?
The Hogan stand.
So,
we hope.
Is the Hogans in the Hogan stand?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's going to be a very proud day for the family.
It's a very proud day for us. It's a very proud day for Fecal GA Club. It's a very proud day for our family and for my family up in Galway. And we're so proud of all of Ava and Con and Adam. We're so proud of them.
I mean, Ruth, watching Adam come up through the ranks here, it must be very special then to see them play in Croke Park, the biggest stage in the country.
Yes, it's a very, very proud day for me. My dad, I used to go, he's from Galway, I used to go on the bus with him with the Galway hurling team. We used to go on the bus with him, so it's a great honour to be up there in Croke Park, and my son is playing the All-Ireland, so it's a very, very proud day.
It's a very proud moment. I mean, Clare, I mean, they've already beaten Cork twice this year, Micheál. In the run-up to the championship. I mean, do you think they have the beatings of them now on Sunday?
Well, after the semi-finals, you'd have to say that we have to play to our very best to beat Cork, like, you know. But I have every belief that we can, like, you know, and then they're a great bunch of squad, the whole squad, Brian Owen and all his management team. They'll be doing nothing else but just planning for this game, like, you know. But after that, then it's the man above and the man in the middle that'll decide everything, like, you know.
There we go, I love that. Anyway, give it up for Micheál and Ruth Hogan. And finally, we're saying hello to Carl and Anne Smith. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mum and Dad.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, good morning. And first up, Anne, I mean, it is a very proud day for the parish, but a very big day for the family as well.
A huge day, an absolute day. We never thought we'd be here. We'd be attending an All-Ireland with our son on the panel. An amazing day.
I mean, Carl has had a couple of injuries now throughout the season. How is he doing at the moment?
Oh, he's back training now and he's all good, yeah.
Yeah, so he picked up the leg injury.
Yeah, they're about maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks or
ago,
so
I'd
ago,
say,
yeah.
Yeah.
But for the last couple of weeks now, he's back full training again.
He's back in full flight.
Yeah.
I mean, the next generation of hurlers, we see so many young kids here beside us and around us. It's so important for them to be inspired, really. And I suppose these young stars now are inspiring the next generation of hurlers, right?
They are. It's a huge thing in the rural community. The GA, the post office, the school, they sort of unite a community. And, I mean, we're on a wave. And it's carrying the kids, ourselves, the parents, the adults, the pensioners. We're all on a wave and we're all on the way to Dublin.
You're all You're getting the bus with the train. How are you getting home? You're driving. All right, well, we're going to finish out with a little bit of music. We've had a great morning here. We'll have more to come from the Banner County. Who's going to win on Sunday?
Absolutely brilliant.
Just shows a small, close-knit community and how much sport means to so many people out there. Fantastic.
GAA post office.
I know exactly, and the school.
And the school.
Yeah, exactly.
They left out the pub.
The man up top and the man in the middle. That's what it's going to come down to this weekend. Fair play to everybody in Fecal.
Absolutely. Well done to everybody there in Fecal this morning. It was great to see you all out. And now still to come this morning, we're about to be bowled over by Susie Lee's delicious noodle bowls.
Yes, we're heading to the kitchen after the break.
Thanks for staying with us now. A quick and easy crispy chili egg noodle bowl in the kitchen.
There you have it. It looks absolutely delicious and smells pretty damn good too. Susie Lee, how are you?
Good morning.
Thank you very
now,
much.
I could even make this, Susie. This is very simple.
Yeah, absolutely. So, whatever instant noodle you have in your house cupboard, I have a selection here for my house. So, literally put the
instant noodles.
Instant noodles into boiling water. So to save on time, I am just going to reheat some that I have cooked before.
Oh, you've done them already. How long
did they take?
2 or 3 minutes?
Well, no, sometimes it takes 5 minutes. And, just depends how many you're cooking.
Okay.
So that's in just to reheat, and then I'm going to do my crispy chili egg. So shop-bought chili oil, delicious. So there's crunchy sesame seeds, there's chili flakes, there's just everything. This is my homemade one from my new cookbook. So get the oil.
Is that sesame oil, is it?
Yeah, so there's sesame oil, there is ginger, there's garlic. It's fully infused.
You can make that in your cookbook,
yes, in my cookbook. So it's really, really delicious. Let that bubble away, and once it hits high heat, you crack in your egg.
What's the cookbook called?
It's called Simply Chinese Feasts. So my first one was Simply Chinese. So this is Take Two, exactly. And the third one is out in 26.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
exciting.
started to write that. So very
so
exciting.
Fried egg so see a fried egg, do you flip it?
No.
No, okay.
So what I do is I don't actually baste it. I get it so that it's nearly cooked until that translucent bit is just a little, like sort of diameter around it. I add a small splash of hot water, put a lid on it, and then it steams. So I don't break, because with speed I always break the egg yolk, and it really drives me mad.
Yeah.
So then with that you can add whatever you have. So leftover veg, blanched veg. I always have blanched veg in the house. So broccoli, green beans, sweet corn. Chopped up carrots, some spring onions, chilli, and this is what I grew up eating, sort of frankfurters, spam, corned beef, anything like that. So to make it more fun, I chop the legs into 8, and then you put them into boiling water, and then the legs uncurl. So they look like an octopus.
Yeah, a little octopus for the kids.
And Alan's going, what on earth is that?
There you go. Happy days.
Yeah. So anyways, from this
So how do you build this? Because, I mean, like, listen, people are always in a rush nowadays. And they want to be having something healthy and not something that's just come straight from ready-made in the shop.
Yeah.
So this can be made, you're talking 5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes, absolutely. So noodles are now done.
Yeah.
This is the soup packets, you know, from the noodles.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you can make your own. Use stock cube, some ginger, some garlic, and then you can use some spring onions. Boil it up for about 5 minutes to get some lovely heat and flavour, salt and pepper, and you've made your own stock.
Oh,
okay,
right, yeah,
super
yeah.
easy. But otherwise, I've decanted those into this bowl, some boiling water. And to give it extra flavour, you could add a spoonful of the chilli oil.
Oh, you need to. Could you not pour that in with the boiling water and the noodles?
I could, but what my mum taught me was separate it out so that whatever was the coating or whatever is dissolved off and make fresh stock.
Oh, right, okay.
If you add it in, it gets really gluey and really like sticky. You know that super noodle that goes with...
Yeah.
So actually then it's really kind of nice and separate and silky.
So
and this is a ramen.
Yeah, this is ramen. Proper
So would
ramen.
you put this in a big bowl in the middle of a table, or are these like...
These are individual ones. You could have a whole pot of noodles and people can just drag their stuff.
That's a big bowl for somebody.
I could eat that. I could eat that,
Okay,
no problem.
so we've got add the veg kind of
So I
ramen.
love this little hint of just a little bit of water and then the steam.
Yep, the steam.
Look at that.
And then I'm hopefully not going to set off the fire alarm.
That's a great.
But literally,
That's great. And then that sort of cooks the top of the egg.
So you just let that cook.
And you're talking probably 30 seconds.
30 seconds, and that's it. So there's chili oil there, so it's smoking.
So you
but
have the little
otherwise-
blanched vegetables then as well.
Yeah. So I literally just build them.
Oh,
so just
great.
build your.
So colourful too.
Yep. So if you want to have a try,
Go on, let's try.
go
Can
ahead.
I?
Yeah. I love the idea of the egg, though. That's very clever.
Yeah, and then just going to reheat some of the little octopuses. That's how chili that is.
The spices coming off it.
Yep, absolutely.
I never order a ramen, you know, and I was out actually at an Asian restaurant yesterday. And I must. Is it soup kind of noodle soup? That's basically what it is.
Yep, absolutely. Just noodle soup.
Oh, there's a lovely kick off this. Yeah.
And then and then I kind of decorate it more with my carrots and then my spring onions.
So the Frankfurter's gone in as well.
Yeah, the Frankfurter's gone in like that, and then I love a massive drizzle of my chili oil. So I literally just drizzle it all on, and there you go.
This is absolutely
really
delicious. It
easy.
really is.
Some sesame seeds, like literally whatever you have, you can just build and build, like sweet corn, anything, you know, and you don't need to use chili oil, you can use like a normal veg oil to fry off and then add other flavours such as soy.
That's a really healthy dish.
And sesame oil. So you don't,
easy,
like, even if you don't have noodles, you can use spaghetti. Genuinely, you can use spaghetti. Boil that up and then start to layer all those flavours. If you don't have those, as I said, even the stock cube. And then just build it, and then you have this delicious bowl.
Susie, lovely to see you back. That's absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Now, lots more still to come here on Ireland Embassy. Back very shortly.
In a few minutes.
You're very welcome back. Now, Alan, you were talking about the Great Retirement.
Yeah, this was a topic we were talking about earlier on, where I am not
Or
retiring
unretirement.
yet. I'm not retiring yet, Tommy. Don't worry. Like people who have retired and wanted to come back to work, or haven't retired and just love working. And Kate says, I retired from teaching at 66 and became a wedding celebrant. After years of dealing with adults, I love the excitement, romance, and the fact that every wedding is different, and it's given me a whole new lease of life.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Great.
And go and try something different.
Yeah,
You know, you can be
that's
working in an office for years and think, do you know what, I'm going to go try so. And that's, I think, the way the world is nowadays.
Yeah.
There's so many different jobs out there and so many opportunities
They
to go
say you
maybe
have like
part-time and
3
things.
careers in life now. Do you know that you do very different things? Like you're on 2. Are you on 3? Or are you on 4? What career is he on?
Hitting the end of it soon. We're
I've only had one. That means I've only... Well,
the Panto telly.
Oh, right, yeah.
Loads. What other ones have we got? Rosanna, I'm 67, still working full-time. I love it as I live alone. It gives me a reason to get up, get dressed every morning and keeps my brain active. And I recently won an Above and Beyond award in work as nominated by the staff.
Brilliant.
Well done, Rosanna.
Well done.
Love it.
Eamon, I'm 65 next month. Will have been working 48 years. And do you know what Eamon says? I cannot wait to retire. Enough is enough. He's done.
Yeah, but like some people just can't wait.
right.
They want to do it.
Working 48 years, fair play.
Yeah, Bob says, I've been working since I was 12. I'm now 77 and still work 2 to 3 days a week, and I love it. Go, Bob.
Yeah,
that's what we say. Go, Bob.
And being an opportunity to work 2-3 days is so
that's
nice
the thing,
as well, isn't it? And
now
it's
we
the
do have
social side of it too.
Where's your cups?
Where's your cup?
Tommy.
I'm trying.
You're not with
I
it.
try not to have coffee now in the last hour. I'm buzzing. But
So we were talking about whether you have your own cup because someone said to me, God, you know those Egypts who have their own cup at work.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
We do. Joanne.
And Tommy has his one.
But Joanne says, I'm with you guys. If I had my way, I'd have my own cup everywhere. Do you have your own cup at home?
I will have a couple of cups that I kind of use.
Yeah, but is one for tea, one for coffee?
Well, I have certain coffee cups and certain tea cups. Yeah. To get a bit
And what's
fussy,
your cup at
I
home?
have a big, huge one, and it says Drama Queen on it.
Apt. That's your third profession?
Absolutely.
Drama
There
queen?
you go.
That's it?
Yes, thank you very much for sending in those texts. Lots of people have their own cups at work and at home as well.
I know it was the hot raging debate of the day. Do you have your
Telling
own
you.
cup, lads? Now, still to come. Singer Nathan Carter is going to be dropping by.
Yeah, he's going to be talking to us about taking the stage in Castlereagh Prison.
And we'll see you back here very shortly.
Love it.
Didn't even know that was going to come on there. Welcome back. Beyonce may refer to herself as Cowboy Carter, but we have the biggest Carter in country music here with us.
After him, of course. Hold on to your hats. It's Nathan
Carter. Hello.
Good morning. Great to have you with us. Nathan, Kane, Tyrone, Anthony, John Carter. Are you having a laugh? What's going on with these middle? Kane,
Confirmation in
Tyrone,
forever.
Anthony, John Carter.
So I was the first grandchild in our family. Dad wants to call me Kane. Mum wants to call me Nathan.
Right.
My granddad wants to call any son, if he had a son or a grandson, Tyrone, after an actor called Tyrone Power from years and years and years ago.
Right.
And then we apparently got to the christening and the priest said there's no saints' names. So Mum says, well, what's your name? He says, Anthony. So I'm Nathan, Kane, Tyrone, Anthony, Carter, yeah.
And the John is for the confirmation, is it? That's also we don't
Two
mind.
granddads were John. So.
Two granddads were John.
Real.
Oh my God. Do you remember
That's
all
not my
your names?
stage name. That's not how I get introduced.
No,
on stage.
exactly.
Has anyone ever said, like, has a fan ever known your full name?
Oh, yeah.
Bet you they have.
A few of them.
Of course they have.
We heard wagon wheel a few minutes ago. Whether it's a wagon wheel around your neck at this stage or whether you're like, thank you for giving me this blooming amazing career, because it's 12 years ago.
12 years, yeah. Flown by. Absolutely flown by. But still enjoy singing it, you know.
Do you enjoy singing it?
I do, yeah. I go on autopilot now, though. Yeah, oh God, that wasn't last year, definitely not. No.
Well, okay, right. So listen, it's old hat at this stage. The crowd go mad for it and just let them take it away.
Yeah, the crowd generally just sing half of it, so it's fine.
Yeah, but you have to. Like, you know, when you go to a gig and people don't play the song, people get angry.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any gig where I haven't sang it, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's
the anger in his eyes is like walking.
It's 12 years, Nate. Like, it's been an unbelievable success you have been, and country music is just getting more and more popular. But like, you are a hard bloody worker. Like, you seem to be on the road non-stop. You're all over the world at this stage.
Yeah.
Like, do you get a bit like? What is life as a performer like, as an artist like? Because are you ever getting any time off?
You'd get a couple of days, you know, most weeks. But generally it's airports and trains or buses or sleeper buses in the UK.
Do you block out a couple of months
It's not
ever?
glamorous.
No.
You know, a lot of people think it's very glamorous. It's not really that good. The gig is brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that's
but
where you
it's
get
the
your
whole,
kick from. Yeah.
whole getting to it and getting home. And,
Because it's so interesting. I remember years ago, you still find them now, like Johnny Cash's career was kept going in Ireland. Like he toured around Ireland an awful lot because he wasn't popular in America anymore. Charlie Pride, all these people. There is this appetite for gigs continually. You go to places like the Faroe Islands, Spain, you do a cruise. Like, what are you doing in the Faroe Islands doing a gig?
So there's a
you
big...
and Brian Kerr, the two Irish people that are over there.
There's a big country music festival that happens in the Faroe Islands every year. So they rang up and said, would you be available to do it? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. I didn't know where it was, so I had to look it up on Google Maps to figure out where the Faroe Island was. So we had to fly to Norway to then get another flight over there. So 2 flights there. They took us out on a boat. We seen all these dolphins and whales. It was great crack, like. And then done the gig, flew home the next day, 2 flights, and then wrecked for 2 days after that. You know,
so from Faroe Islands to Castlereagh Prison, how the hell did that come about?
Yeah, I was invited to do a gig in a prison last week, and I didn't know what really the background was to it. I knew there was 3 charities involved that they were raising money for, and the inmates were trying to raise money as well for these local charities. So I said, yeah, it's a great idea. I didn't know whether the inmates were going to be at the gig or not till I turned up and they said there's actually not going to be any inmates. There might be a few, but we're going to give you a tour of the prison. You're going to meet some of them. And I said, great, yes, because I've never been in a prison. Yeah. I hope not to be in one again, to be honest with you. Yeah, we went round, we seen the barber shop, met a couple of lads in there. Some of the inmates had baked cakes. They'd made me this massive cake, which I still haven't eaten half of, to be honest with you. And then the gig happened that night with the people involved in the charities and the staff of the prison, who worked very hard, I must say. But it was very interesting. It's not something I ever really thought I would be doing. And obviously there was people mentioning Johnny Cash. And then there was a good bit of criticism because the inmates weren't at the gig, but it did get streamed that night and put in the cells the following day for them to watch if they want. I did see some comments online where saying the lads are going through a tough enough time without putting Nathan Carter in the cell as well. I was laughing. Yeah, good one.
But you did, again, you went along to a gig for charity. You didn't know that the inmates weren't going to be there.
No,
I suppose a lot of people kind of focused in on that.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's given you a perspective, something that you wouldn't have seen before.
Yeah, that's it. And to be honest, if the inmates had been there, there would have been a lot of criticism for entertaining the inmates as well. So I couldn't really have won.
Can't win.
But there was over $7.5 grand raised for the local charities. It was a good night. Everyone that was there enjoyed it. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
And to be fair, country music is going through like a real boom at the minute. Like we just saw Taylor Swift, who had her roots really were very much country. Like the Aviva Stadium, you have Beyonce with her new album Cowboy Carter as well. Like it's a great genre to be in. It seems like Ireland is obviously there's a real niche around country music as well, but it seems to be massive, going in the right way globally too.
Yeah, I think Beyonce's album was, I wouldn't really call it country, but it definitely brought a lot of attention to the genre. And like she done Jolene and changed the lyrics of Jolene, and I'm sitting listening going, oh God, poor Dolly. That? But then Dolly's laughing all the way to the bank, so she's happy enough. But you know what, it's not for me, but there's a lot of people out there that probably never would have heard of the like of Jolene before, heard it on Beyonce's album. May got into Dolly Parton then, you know what I mean? So
and I suppose when you see Shaboozey, Tipsy, like at the top of the charts all over the place, and it's American country has always been different from Irish country. And when it comes to Irish country music, you're doing a big gig with a pile of people, as always. The Dublin City Council's Kyoll Country. Yeah. And that's like normally you'd be like Kyoll Country is going to be in Monaghan. No, middle of Dublin.
Oh no.
Middle of Dublin.
Half of Monaghan will be in Dublin.
Dublin. What's this gig?
This is a gig. This is the first of its kind that I know of. You know, having an Irish country style festival in the middle of Dublin, it doesn't really happen. I mean, we do a lot of concerts in Dublin, but I've never done a festival with all these sort of acts that are continually touring all around the country all the time. So Mike Denver and Cleona Hagan and Jimmy Buckley, and there's a load of people.
They're all there.
So I think our night is actually sold out, the second night, but they are going to add some limited amounts of tickets still to it. There's still tickets left for the first night.
It's going to be the country electric picnic. Watch out.
But like, it's
Smithfield.
August the 31st and September the 1st. Smithfield Square in Dublin is gone country.
There'll be cowboy
in the middle of all the
hats
hipsters.
everywhere.
I mean, that's going to be such good fun.
Do you, like, I suppose it's quite a small group. Like, you all know each other so well. You're always touring and performing alongside each other as well, which is handy.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't see a lot of the acts. Well, you would at festivals, you know what I mean, if you pass them. But then if you're on...
It's too big.
Yeah.
Would you all head to Coppers after, like, for the night out?
You never know. You never know. It has been known to happen before. But no, generally, if you're on first, you're out the gap and then the next band is in then, so you don't really see each other that much, you know. But we do our Spain trip every year, and I bring out a load of the acts. The Tumblin' Paddies are coming this year, and Lisa McHugh and Johnny Brady and loads. So that in that sort of circumstance, you get to sit round, have coffee, have a few drinks afterwards. It's good crack. But then generally you wouldn't see each other throughout the year, you know.
It's mad because you're all busy gigging and doing that thing. But anyway, the country's taken over. The middle of Dublin. Dublin City Council's Kyoll Country, August 31st, September the 1st. There's a limited number of tickets available. Nathan Carter, delighted that she called her album Cowboy Carter. Going to be talking about Beyonce until the day he dies. Thank you so much for joining us.
At all. Great to see you.
Cheers, Nathan.
Now, still to come, we've got Euro chic fashion on the catwalk.
And we're going to see if Deric has what it takes to hurl with some of the Clare greats. That's all coming up here on Ireland Dame.
Now, breezy dresses and trendy trainers are the ingredients to make up European summer aesthetic. It's a craze that caught the eye of TikTok fashionistas. No idea what I'm talking about.
Being a European, do you feel like you are in this craze? Here to walk us through the trend is stylist Justine King. But first, let's take a look at our style inspiration. So there was a lot of stuff going on there. I've watched a lot of these videos, and
is this what American thinks that Europeans wear?
What you'd wear. It's all these transitions. What you'd wear in Dublin, what you'd wear in Glasgow, what you'd wear in
Dublin
London. Dublin is in loads of them. Oh, there's loads of things. Justine, hello. Our European queen today. Yes.
So it's kind of Americans trying to dress like the locals, but it's quite sensationalized and look. They're gorgeous. They're the things we want to wear on holidays. Okay. So it's kind of if you're visiting Paris, which we're going to do first.
Danny's in Paris, this is what do you think you might wear in Paris?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll kick off with her sleeveless vest. Very cool and Parisian, nothing underneath. This one is from On Trend. So this is fully lined. It has gorgeous pockets. It does have a matching trouser, so you can do it as a trouser suit. But I decided kind of cool girl in Paris, especially in the summer months, is going to wear it with her kind of longer city short.
A chambray short, is it?
Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
They're gorgeous, aren't they? They're a nice, that's the city length, so it's not the little hot pant.
Yes.
We're seeing Bermuda shorts really making a resurgence, but I personally think this is an easier length to wear.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
They're better on our thighs, right?
They are.
On thighs of all sizes. These ones are also from On Trend, so they're a light denim, kind of relaxed fit. They do have a little belt buckle there, so you could add your kind of brown belt to that too. But they're just kind of an easy light.
Those are lovely.
Short.
They are really, really, really nice. The runners then.
Yeah, so I love with these trainers. These ones are from Murphy Shoes. They're the brand Another Trend. So they're 100% leather suede. They have these in a whole range of different colours, metallics and everything. But I love that popping blue, and then there's a little bit of a kind of petrol colour at the back. in the leather as well. So you could really wear them with absolutely anything, but we're just picking up on the blue and the shorts. And of course, if you're spending your day around Paris, you need to be comfortable.
Yes,
you
you
need
do.
to be comfortable. And jewellery-wise?
Yeah, so all our jewellery today is from Lunner, a gorgeous Irish brand, and Lunner means radiance. So
Radiant?
Radiance, yeah, the Irish word for radiance. So these are her Claddagh earrings, and they're 18-carat gold vermeil. All of these are kind of handcrafted and hand-designed in Kildare.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? A little bit different than the Claddagh ring, and they're kind of her own spin on it too. So then the ring here, you can see there is a beautiful moonstone ring. So just got the tiny little moonstone, and that is inspired by the native gorse bush capturing the beauty of Ireland.
Absolutely gorgeous. Au revoir. We'll see you in a little while, Danny. Merci beaucoup. We're going to Seville.
Hola.
Yeah.
Hola.
Next up, our Spanish
Hola,
señorita with Ursula. This is very Spanish, isn't it? The kind of off-the-shoulder, beautiful broderie top. It's got that kind of tiered effect, and then it has the lace up button, or the lace up front. And then it has
lovely,
the peplum.
isn't it?
It is lovely, and it's easy to wear as well. They have that in an extra small up to an extra large, and I even think on a bigger bust, it's kind of disguising the bust with the ruffle detail, and that off the shoulder is a very flattering fit.
And can you push them up
You
if
can
you
push
like?
it up a little bit. Yeah, we had them up on our shoulders a little bit more as well. You could put this with a skinny denim jean as well. You know, it could really go with anything, but keeping in that Spanish holiday look, we've gone for this linen look skirt, also from On Trend, and that one is lined down to the knee, so you're not going to be too sheer, but it's nice and light for the holidays.
And then, of course, very sort of Spanish, walking around, but slight heel shoe.
Yes, so we've gone for our tan leather espadrilles here. These are very similar to, so Chloe, the front row for Autumn Winter 24, everyone wore shoes like this. They did like the entire front row, and they were these kind of chunky espadrille tan wedges. So it is showing you that that's very much the look.
The jewellery.
Yeah, so we'll start off with her earrings here. So these are the Giant's Causeway pearl drop earrings. So they're freshwater Keshi pearls, and then you can just see a little hammered gold vermeil in those two. Beautiful with the whites kind of to pick up on those pearls, and we're seeing a lot of pearl here for spring summer. And then our beautiful necklace, that is the Irish shrubbery necklace. And again, it's just kind of got its own kind of signature look for all the Lunner pieces. So it's kind of that merge of Irish heritage with a kind of contemporary take.
Absolutely lovely.
So we're on the plane from Seville, and we're heading to London.
Yes.
London.
London.
Hello.
Hello, my
And
love.
according to TikTok, the Oxford shirt is the ultimate London piece for this summer. And we are seeing the Oxford shirt absolutely everywhere at the moment.
That's a gorgeous one.
It is really nice, isn't it? This is from Nicola Ross in Naas. So they have two boutiques in Naas, an Irish-owned company. They do have this in a pink and in a blue as well. I love that kind of pop and green. It's that oversized, relaxed fit. Like I think Kelly is wearing the small there, so it is supposed to be that kind of oversized fit.
Yeah.
Look, it's great for the office, but it's great for your holidays too. You could team that with a city short again if it was the hotter days in London, but we've gone for this straight leg trouser. Again, they have these in a range of colours in beige, black, pink, navy, purple, because they're such a great fit. And they have the button and the zip at the top, but they are an elasticated waist too for a little bit more give.
It's like a Liz Hurley. She's not going anywhere without a skinny white
Yes, she's our
trouser
London
or
inspo.
jean. There you go.
So then we're picking up on that.
Like I've money and I'm
Yeah.
just
Money and
I'm
I'm
just like
no.
a few bob.
So our beautiful shoes, they are again the leather suede, and they're a nice modest heel height for the holidays in those espadrille wedge, and they again come in pink and in bright orange as well.
And the earrings?
Yeah, so the earrings, these I think my favourite piece. They're a 3p coin, and they are a real casting of a 1942 3p coin, and with slightly melted edges, so it gives that kind of relic
You can
feel.
sort of see
yeah,
it,
you can.
Yeah, you can really see the coin print up close, and they have a matching necklace as well, so they'd be one of their kind of signature pieces with Lunner. And
But
yeah,
you have a ring here as well, do you?
yeah, so we've gone for the Claddagh ring, but this is kind of her own take on a Claddagh ring, because again, it's got that slightly kind of melted look. It's not like a traditional Claddagh.
Okay.
And it's a lovely weight to that ring as well. So yeah, as I say, it's all handcrafted, and it's a nice thick kind of band on that too. So it's a little bit different to the Claddahs we're seeing
That's
everywhere
a
else.
lovely outfit.
Sherry,
Actually, really nice,
thank
yeah.
you so much, Kelly.
Now we're back on the plane and we're heading to Mykonos.
Can you say hello in Greek?
Not really, no.
So
gyros, is that all we can do? We love
the
gyros.
TikTokers use Mamma Mia as their reference point for Greece, because they probably have never been to Greece and think that's how everyone dresses. So this is our Mamma Mia-esque kind of outfit. We could see Meryl Streep or Amanda Seyfried in this one. This is from Nicola Ross. They have this in a range of colours, so in blue and green and in lime and pink as well. It's a great fit, great across the bust, and then that empire waistline, and then the elasticated back we saw there a moment ago. Really easy one for your holidays. Pop that on with your flats or your wedges. But you could wear that to even a summer wedding.
You
so
absolutely can.
Good.
Completely
That's
you can.
gorgeous,
It's a lovely fit.
Yeah.
And then with the wedges.
So we've dressed it up for evening wear here with these wedges. So these are your gold metallic. They are genuine leather as well, and they have a lovely cushioned insole. And as I always say about gold wedges, like bring them as your only dressy shoe on holidays, and they're going to go with pretty much everything, especially with your gold jewellery.
Okay, that makes sense. And the jewellery, speaking of?
So the jewellery then, we've got these beautiful earrings that are from the Turk collection. So they're inspired by the Turk neck collars in the National Museum of Ireland. And then we have the matching necklace as well. So it is that kind of contemporary take on that traditional Turk look.
That's very cool. I love a Turk. They're class.
And I even think that necklace layered up with your other necklaces as well could be really cool.
It's going to look so good, but it still has that traditional feel about it. So absolutely lovely. Danny, thank you so much. I was going to do a Shirley Valentine in the Greek one, but I don't think we should.
And you're dressed for the Dublin look, are you?
I'm dressed for the Dublin look. Yeah, that's it. Dublin, not Cork. I didn't dress like this for Cork, I swear to God. Justine King, thank you so much.
That's lovely.
Thank you so much. Clare, coming up next, Deric's hurling hoopla continues in County Clare.
Yeah, he's taking over the Banner County ahead of the hurling finals after this quick break.
Welcome back. Now, all morning, Deric has been like a pig in fecal. That's your joke. And I should... You put that in. Oh, my God. As if I haven't annoyed people enough by wearing red. I didn't do this on purpose, so tomorrow I'm going to wear yellow and blue. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, it's this weekend. It's the All-Ireland hurling final. And, of course, Deric has been in fecal all morning. And back over to you now, Deric. What's happening now?
Up the banner.
Up the banner.
Lee McCartney's on his way, and now here we go again with their mighty bannermen. Brian Lohan is our man, and I'm a proud Clare hurling fan.
Oh, there you go, guys. Damien Gorley on the guitar. Welcome down here to beautiful Fecal in County Clare. As I said earlier on, we have half the county down here this morning. There's a wonderful atmosphere ahead of All-Ireland Final Sunday. We're going to chat to some guests now, some locals here in the village, in the parish. Aisling O'Connor, you are the Clare Rose, and you're still milking it. You're still the Clare Rose.
Still milking it. Milking it till March. Milking it all the way till March.
Absolutely. Aisling, it is a big day for the local community here in Fecal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, of course. I mean, we are so proud of all of those lads who have put in so much grind for us in the past couple of years, and all of that is coming to fruition, hopefully this weekend in Croke Park. I think, you know, it's not a competition, but I haven't seen any village,
it is a competition.
I haven't seen any village as well decked out as our village here in Fecal, so we stick by our own 100%, and we are so proud of those boys.
I mean, we have shot. How has the last year been for you?
Yeah, it's been amazing. I have, you know, been speaking to radios, been speaking to newspapers, and yourselves, of course, up in Dublin. I've been to New York to walk in the parade, and to Germany to open Christmas markets. So to end my reign with the Liam McCarthy down in Clare would be a perfect ending.
Oh, she's a confident woman. That's what we like to see. But you're a teacher at Cork, and we met you last year, and you told me that day in the classroom, you said, Deric, I'm giving up my job here in Dublin, and I'm going to move back to Fecal in Clare. Are you glad you made that decision?
Absolutely, 100%. It's been unbelievable to be home. It's been amazing to be back near my brothers, my family, the community of Fecal, and I don't regret that decision at all. I'm so happy to be home.
I mean, I remember you telling me at the time you had a loss in your family, and the whole community actually really gathered around you, didn't they?
Yeah, they are the most wonderful community. I've been talking about them all year, so it's great that people can finally put some faces
to the names. Absolutely.
Yeah, so they, you know, in times of need, in times of celebration, this village step up, and as I said before, they stick by their own 100%. They are so proud of their own, and you know, we've been talking about these lads for the past couple of weeks, and please God, we'll be talking about them for the next year.
Absolutely. I know your family is steeped in the hurling and in the club here itself.
Yeah, 100%. So my brother Liam is down there in goals. He was the captain of the 21A Fecal team who won their cup this year. My brother Ronan was the captain of the Harty Cup, which had a historic win in February of 2022. And he is also the captain of the Clare under-20 team that participated this year. And my brother Oisin made up parts of those panels as well. So steeped in tradition in my family, but that gene skipped me.
Yeah. You didn't get it all. Now, we're going to move on to the next lady here. She's a Cork woman behind enemy lines. down here in County Clare. Carol O'Grady. Oh, Carol, first up, tell us, what brought you to Fecal first up?
Well, 20 plus years ago, I met my husband down, Sean, a proud fecal man down in Cork, and he dragged me up here.
Oh, he dragged you. Kicking and screaming, I'd say. I mean, we have been around the village earlier on this morning, and I mean, the place is decked out in bunting and banner. And I passed your house, and I went, look at this chalk on show. And you have the Cork flag draped across the place.
Yes, of course, yes, I have to. There's 6 of us in the house, and I think I'm standing on my own.
Oh! Are you on your own in the village?
No, there's about 2 others hiding out there somewhere.
And there's a Galway woman over there as well who's celebrating the football. I mean, your family as well steeped in the GAA.
Yes, yeah, we love it. The kids are down here, I'd say, most evenings, between training and everything. There's 4 of them, between camogie and hurling. It's all great.
Who you support? Obviously, you're shouting for Cork at the weekend.
Yes, of course.
But I mean, the rest of the household, how many of them have you got in there?
There's 4 children and my husband, all Clare.
Okay, all Clare.
Yeah, all Clare.
Are you going to call the score at the weekend? What are you going to call it? Come on.
I think the Rebels will win by 5.
Oh! She won't come out here alive. I mean, Mark, you can see what it means to the local community. And I mean, there's a lot of fundraising going on here now in the club itself to raise the few bob and to progress the club on a little bit extra.
Yeah, there is, Deric. As Aisling said, I think we all think Fecal is a unique community. I mean, we have a population of 600 and we have 3 pubs, 3 shops, we have a post office. But at the heart of the village here is the GAA pitch and the school. And later on this year, we plan to start our new development of our new clubhouse with a community gym. And I want to thank all the people who've supported. We run draws for the last 2 years to fundraise for it. Now we have more fundraising to do, so if there's anyone watching this morning that would like to contribute.
Yeah, dig deep in the pockets. Can we just talk about the village here itself? Because I came in here this morning and there were silage bales decorated, there is flags, there's posters. I mean, it's incredible really what you've done down here in Fecal.
It is, like, and that's all down to the players we have on the panel, like, you know, we're so proud of those players. And we've no doubt that our team have played for the Great Unretirement all year. Now, they haven't played for a full 70 minutes in any game, so we hope that's going to be Sunday. And if they do, they're going to blow Cork off the field.
Oh! I know there's a man walking from Clare to Dublin. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Andy Maloney is walking from Shannon to Dublin, and he is doing that to raise money and awareness for autism. So I think you can find his journey on Facebook and donate if you can.
And you can follow him online. Anyway, ladies and gents, we had 2 shots on the Cork crew yesterday. Will we have 2 shots on the Clare crew here this morning? I think we will. So we're going to get the first ball, because if we spin the camera around, we have got, first up, oh, we have to look, we have the Fecal jersey. There we go. I'm a proud Fecal man now. Anyway, we've got Liam, who is the Clare Rose's brother in goals. You ready, Liam? Top corner. Oh! Oh! There's one now. Here we go. And we get to look at dodgy yellow ball from Cork. Oh! There we have it. 2 from 2. Could it be a sign for the weekend? I'm wearing the Fecal jersey. Damien Corley is going to finish this out with the rendition of Up the Banner. Take it away there, Damien. Come on in, everyone. Come on. Up the banner.
Well, I'm a proud Clare hurling fan. In July in 24, you will hear the banner roar on the county's greatest day. Our fans, they said we love our hurling up in Clare, and we'll sing this loud and proud. Here we go, lads. Come on, the banner. Lee McCarthy's on his way, and now here we go again with our mighty bannerman, Ryan Logan is our man, and I'm a proud Clare hurling fan. Shane O'Donnell's in his prime, David Reedy is sublime, Mark Rogers is hunting for goals, Peter Duggan, Aidan Mack, now we have the best.
Look at you and your Cork top.
And for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody.
What a great morning. Thank you, everybody in Fecal and all the surrounding villages who came out this morning. Absolutely brilliant down there in Clare.
We were delighted with the jersey as well.
We were in Cork yesterday, so We're up supporting both teams for this weekend's final.
Absolutely. It's going to be a cracker of a final. Well done to... Like, I just love that. The community, the crowd, it just shows how important.
And yesterday as well, like starting from such a young age in Cork and on around there this morning, it's brilliant. The GAA,
and the GAA gets a bad rap sometimes. And we talk about the matches. Well, sometimes. But I think what the bones of it, the root of it all, is community and how much it means to so many young boys and girls out there.
It's
just
amazing.
Fantastic.
And a new All-Ireland winner for the first time in 5 years coming this weekend.
Oh, yeah, isn't it?
Brand new winner.
Well, exactly. That's why it's been so hard to get tickets. That's why Deric kept asking, have you been able to get tickets? I mean, I think they literally sold out in 45 minutes or something as well. So it's going to be huge. Well done.
And so Deric, he's been in Cork. He's there in Clare this morning. And then he's off to Galway, because Deric's going to be catching up with Gavin James,
for next
Robert
week? That's the All-Ireland football.
and Catty Belton at the Galway Arts Festival tomorrow.
That's going to be a great guest.
Great guest.
The voices behind chart-topping podcasts Left on Read are dropping by.
And we're learning the importance...
Left on Red.
The importance of playtime for adults. We're going to see you back here. We're going to say everything right tomorrow from 7 a.m. We're going to be back in the... We're going to be back in the zone.
It's one of those days. Have a great day.
Unbiased.
Tomorrow.